Hey guys, Batman Mark here, back at Nerds in a Bar, in the bar, here at Big Apple Con, New York. And today I have with us a very important person to my left. He is Reilly Brown. He is an artist for a lot of different things, but most importantly, he is a fan favorite of mine because he's done Deadpool, and he's done a new book that he just came out with about Batman crossing over with another really cool property, and I'm going to let Reilly tell us all about it.
Batman Fortnite is what you're talking about.
Exactly.
This project's a lot of fun. Anyone who plays Fortnite, none of the characters actually talk in the game, so there's a lot of mystery and a lot of fans speculating about what is it about, what's up with the island, you know. So Donald Mustard, who's the creator of Fortnite, was saying, well, who's the greatest detective in the world to save or to solve the greatest mystery in Fortnite? It's like, well, it's Batman. So let's have Batman actually solve some of these big questions that we've been asking ever since Fortnite started. Well, one thing Donald wanted to do is he was thinking in the video game is not the best place to tell the story. He's like, this is really a comic book story, so let's make a comic book where this happens. And in the comic, it's pretty much Batman having to solve the mystery of Fortnite, but he's also stuck in the game of Fortnite, which means he gets reset every 20 minutes, loses all his memories every 20 minutes, can't talk to anybody, so he has to figure out, like, okay, who am I, what am I doing, where am I, and how the hell do I get out of this within 20 minutes? Over and over and over and over again.
Almost like a Groundhog's Day reset.
Yeah, it's sort of like Groundhog's Day and Memento and Batman all at the same time.
I love it. Memento. Exactly.
Yeah, with Battle Royale at the same time because he's got an island full of lunatics trying to kill him.
Exactly. And I'm not a Fortnite fan. I don't know Fortnite like my kids do.
Right.
So I started reading it, and I was asking my kids, why are there no words? And then they explained to me that nobody talks or communicates in Fortnite. Everything's visual.
Right. Well, that's one of the... See, I think you don't have to actually play Fortnite to appreciate the story because Batman doesn't play Fortnite, and he doesn't understand what's going on. So you can learn it all along with Batman as he unravels everything. But then beyond just the Fortnite aspect, it's a really fun just Batman story about his relationship with Catwoman.
Yes.
And that's one of my favorite, if you like Batman and Catwoman, this story is great and heartbreaking. Coming on the heels of the, him and his wedding that didn't happen with Catwoman. And it's like the first time we really seeing the characters together after that and like working together and like not knowing their history. And so that was a lot of fun to play with.
The first time that he jumped into the Fortnite and Catwoman saves him, the thought balloons were going off, and you could read the thought balloons, and it's like, I know her.
Right.
And we fight well together. And it was like, wow. It's like,
right.
I got to chill. I got to chill. Just reading it. It was great.
Yeah, it was just like, it's like we click somehow. Like have we trained together? Do we know? Are we friends? Are we enemies? What's the story here? And so then every 20 minutes as they get reset, they have to reintroduce each other. And it's always kind of like, wait a minute. Are you the one? Like, my favorite part is the second time he meets her, because he left a note to himself from one loop to the next.
Memento.
Right. He has like an infinite amount of batarangs that he uses as pretty much Post-it notes to leave himself notes. And so the second time he meets her, he left a note for himself that says, "The cat is your friend." So he comes up to this big fight between a bunch of characters, and there's her, and then there's another cat character, Meowscles, the big muscular cat guy. Yeah. And so he was like, well, wait, which cat person is it? And, he's like, well, let's go with the pretty girl one instead. Then another fun part was, did you get to issue 3?
No.
Oh, see, I don't want to spoil it.
You can spoil it.
It's on the cover. I mean, Batman teams up with Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe.
Yes.
So it becomes kind of like this 3-property crossover that I can't even imagine, like, the legal hoops they had to jump through to pull this off, but it was pretty awesome.
It is amazing because they did Marvel versus DC in previous iconic comic styles.
Yes. Yep, that's right. And there's always intercompany crossovers, but it's like, it's a kind of a big deal to. I think there's a lot that has to go into like figuring those kind of deals out, And Fortnite, obviously, if you play the game, they've got all sorts of licenses. So I'm assuming they just had the connections and were like, yeah, but we throw in a comic book also. And, it worked out. But that was a lot of fun. That really felt literally like playing with my action figures when I was a kid again. Like I was like, oh man. And, I actually got the toy so I could get, Snake Eyes' details just right and everything. And my son was mad at me because I kept taking his Batman toy to use it as reference. But that was fun. Yeah.
What else is on the horizons for Reilly Brown?
Well, I've got a couple of projects going on right now. I'm finishing up my creator-owned project, Outrage, that I do with Fabian Nicieza, that you can read for free over on Webtoon. But we've got a print version coming out from Rocket Ship Comics later on this year, sometime over the summer, I believe. I don't know the exact release date. I also have my own podcast, Hypothetical Island, that you can check out. I do it every week, interview a lot of great comic book artists, writers, animators, toy designers, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's similar to this, but I do it with my co-host is George O'Connor. He's another comic artist that we used to have a art studio together back in Brooklyn, several years ago. And we've always talked about getting a podcast going, and over COVID, without, during the quarantine, we couldn't go to conventions, and we were like, hey, let's do the podcast now. It'll be a good excuse to catch up with all our artist friends and stuff. And so it's been working out well. It's a lot of fun. It's very stupid, but it's kind of fun.
No. It's not stupid. It's you having fun with your friends.
Well, I didn't explain to you the stupid part about it yet. Okay. So back when we were doing back in the studio, George always hated it when it would get too quiet, and so he would come up with these silly conversation prompts. And one of the favorite ones was always like, "You're lost at sea, and there's 2 islands, and which one do you swim to? And on each island, there'd be some horrible fate that awaits you that you have to live out the rest of your days." So that's kind of the premise of this. Every episode we start off with this hypothetical island situation and make our guests go through this with us. And it's especially funny when you can tell they've never actually listened to the podcast before, and they're just like, what the hell am I, like, what is this show? I thought we were here to talk about my new book. And they get very confused, and that's my favorite part. But
great.
But then we do a regular interview after that. But it's fun.
Good. So it's an icebreaker. It gives them an opportunity to say, what the hell is this? And then they get a little comfortable with you, and then they go from there.
Right, exactly.
You did a huge run on the Deadpool stuff. Yeah. Why don't you tell us about that real quick?
Oh, Deadpool was a lot of fun. That was actually pretty much my first gig at Marvel. Like, I did a 1-issue holiday special. It was my first time breaking in. Then I did a couple of fill-in issues for the Cable and Deadpool series with Fabian Nicieza. And then eventually that became a regular artist on the series, and that just took off from there. That was like right before the big Deadpool explosion. And so there was this brief moment of time where I was the only Deadpool artist. And I remember going to conventions and being like, it was my first gig, so I didn't know what was normal and what wasn't, but I'm like, I think Deadpool's popular. I think there's something to this character. I don't know if maybe whoever's drawing, Ghost Rider or whatever, is they have fans. Of course, the Ghost Rider fans are going to find him. The Deadpool fans are going to find me. But I feel like a lot of people like Deadpool. There's something going on here. And then next thing you know, he's the biggest thing in the world. So that was fun.
Did you ever get to meet Ryan Reynolds?
I haven't. I almost met him. I was actually invited to the premiere of the movie in New York when it first came out. I didn't really know it was the premiere because I was invited just to be the judge of a cosplay contest.
Okay.
And I was invited by some random friend I had that does things like that. I'm like, oh, that sounds like fun. Unfortunately, that's the day my son is born. And so, or it was the day after my son was born, yeah. And so I was like, I'm kind of at the hospital right now, I can't make it. And then I learned that was actually it wasn't just a screening of the movie, it was the main premiere. Right. Fabian was bragging to me about meeting Ryan Reynolds, because he was there doing the thing, I was supposed to be there with him. He was, meeting Ryan Reynolds and all this stuff. I'm like, God damn it. But, whatever, I had a kid, and so that was, he's not a bad consolation prize.
You can't bitch about that. But if you ever do meet Ryan Reynolds, you'll have to tell him that story.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I absolutely will.
The Batman Fortnite crossover, 0 Point, with Reilly Brown's artwork in it. You guys got to check it out. This is an amazing book. The story's incredible. The artwork is amazing. And thank you so much for joining us today, Reilly.
My pleasure. This was a lot of fun.
Plug your podcast one more time.
Hypothetical Island. Check it out wherever great podcasts are downloaded.
For Nerds in a Bar, this is Batman Mark and
Reilly Brown.
the Deadpool Batman Fortnite artist. Talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.